The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties.
Man, I got it right. My hand matching my bag.
Buckeyes and trying to turn to the goal line. Puts the football over.
Cause man, I got it swag. Man, I got it swag. My hand
Hands to Gifty.
He stuffed him. He stuffed him.
You know I'm popping tags.
Bad snap. Bobble. Scooped up. Here come the Spartans. Down the sideline. Racing into the end zone.
He hits it. He hits it. He did it.
This is Sparta!
We're going to come in with that work mindset, that work mentality, that blue-collar mentality, and we're going to take care of business. We're not going to worry about, who they are, what they are, and we're going to hang a 40-piece on them, crispy, too.
Crispy. Spicy?
I was about to say spicy.
Yeah, throw a little spice on that.
Ooh-wee. Clairvoyant take there from a week ago by our co-host, Jehuu Nostradamus Caulcrick. I'm Jason Strayhorn, and we are the host here for This is Sparta on top of the Graduate Hotel, the rooftop bar here in East Lansing. And Jehuu, talking about the performance for Michigan State against the Akron Zips, 52-2 zip. That was a stellar performance, wasn't it?
It was a stellar performance, and I like the play on words that you did there, to zip there. Great performance by Michigan State. Excellent job by the defense, corralling to the football. Being down on the sideline for that game, you could hear the physicality that Michigan State was approaching this game defensively with. Their guys flying down. There were 11 hats swarming to the football every single time. So it was absolutely a well-played game by the Spartans defensively.
Wow. I mean, you looked at how things were going to get going in the early pregame warm-ups, and we're going to cut to a shot of the MSU Hall of Fame inductee, Draymond Green, who was on hand in Spartan Stadium when he started giving a little bit to the Akron Zips in pregame. He's going after him a little bit there?
Yeah. That just goes to show that Sparties, we're one. You come at one of us, you're going to get all of us. It was really cool to see, obviously he was in the moment, celebrating, enjoying himself. And, it's good for those Akron boys. They had a little 10, 15 seconds of hoorah, before the game.
Nothing wrong with that. And that was a sign of things to come. And as we're talking, we're going to go now into the MSU Game Day Stats Breakdown presented by IHOP. The 2x2 breakfast combo equals one delicious meal. Enjoy 2 pancakes, 2 eggs your way, and 2 pieces of bacon for only $5, only at IHOP. Hurry in and enjoy this deal for a limited time. Dine in only. Price and participation may vary. Restrictions do apply.
Hey, 2 for 2. You can't beat that.
No, you can't beat it.
Can't beat that with a wiffle bat.
With a wiffle ball bat. So breaking it down, that was the largest margin of victory for MSU since 2014. That was like a little bit after your playing days, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit after my playing days. And I'll top you with one more over there. That's the largest shutout win since 1957 when the Spartans put it to the Hoosiers of Indiana, 54-0.
That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, definitely was. And, like I said, it was all-around good game for the Spartans. And offensively, I don't think it was as sharp as they wanted it to be, but, we had production from the offensive line. We had production from the running backs. They totaled nearly 500 yards of total offense. That's never a bad day at the office when you have that.
Never. When the offense is clicking like that, 500-plus yards, it's going to be a good day. And we're going to talk about the rushing totals, as you just touched on there. The Killer Bees, Broussard and Berger, totaling for nearly 260 yards.
Yeah, it's a really unique take, the way that Michigan State's approaching their handling of the running backs by committee. In the past, if you have running backs by committee, you usually play the hot hand and the other guy goes in. But this time, it seems like they're alternating series. So for an offensive coordinator, then you have to change your game plan a little bit for, okay, this guy's strengths are this, and this. Maybe is he a better pass protector than this? Can we throw the ball as many times, with Berger in or Broussard? Which one is it? So that a lot goes into play with that, and it's a unique approach for a running back by committee.
Yeah, it looks like they've really done a good job of giving them balanced amount of carries, if you will. 32 carries between the two, 188 total yards. Berger with 17 for 107. Broussard 15 carries for 81 of those yards.
Yeah, and those are all hard yards, for those guys. I thought Berger, he showed his explosiveness a little bit there, broke out on a couple of them. And same thing with Broussard. He showed his toughness, running between the tackles. You could see a lot of good flashes from those guys. Yeah. And I think as the season goes on, the more and more they get comfortable with their offensive line, they get in that rhythm of the offense, you're going to see those flashes a lot more. But I saw some really good jump cuts at the second level to spring them, through for those big runs.
We love jump cuts in the offensive line. I know that much, and so do the fans. But also, let's talk a little bit about Elijah Collins, who had an emergence, a guy that we haven't seen in a while. 8 carries, 57 yards.
Yeah, 57. That's his, most yards he's had in the game since the Pinstripe Bowl. And he came out there. Is he emerging as this third back, this guy that's going to be out there and, spell those two guys, or maybe get a bit of a change of pace guy? The thing I really like about Elijah Collins, I think he's that bruising back.
Yeah.
That Michigan's, he's the thumper out of the group. And if he can play himself into a bigger role, Michigan State will be very dangerous offensively.
He looked like he's a guy that can really move that pile, especially in red zones. And that's something that Choo used to do. I remember in your playing days, being able to get the ball into the end zone, punch it in for those scores that you need deep into Big Ten play. Receiving, on the receiving end, 11 different receivers catch the ball, Jehuu. Jaden Reed, 6 catches for 76 yards. Neon Keon, 2 catches for 36 yards. But then your guy, Trey Mosley, 2 catches, 26 yards, and a tutty.
Yeah, Trey Mosley, he's a sneaky guy. That's what I'm saying. He's this guy. He's a very unsung guy. Mm-hmm. He's not going to give you the splash plays that Coleman and Reed will give you. He's going to get those hard, dirty yards.
Yeah.
He's going to be that one that sneaks in there, and it's kind of like, one of those big tight ends that a program has that just somehow finds a way to get open. That's how Mosley reminds me of, but he's in a receiver's body. And if defenses are going to have to start paying more attention to him and game plan for him, especially when they get into the red zone, the 20 and in specifically.
Yeah, it reminds me of Josiah Price back in the day during the Rose Bowl.
Exactly. Getting those cheeky yards, and those cheeky scores.
The cheeky scores. It was spread around with 11 receivers on the receiving end. As a passer, Peyton Thorne, 18 of 28, 212 yards, no touchdowns this time, 2 picks.
Yeah, Thorne, the big thing with him is, and you heard him say at the end, in the post-game press conference, that he's upset with himself for, the timing's off and the ball is coming out and it's sailing on him a little bit. The big thing you have to worry about that, Jason, especially with a quarterback, is he can't get in his head.
Yeah.
He has to have that memory of a fish. A fish has memory for 5 seconds. That's why they swim around in a circle, do. Oh, look at this,
Yeah.
And they love it. But so that's what a quarterback has to do. Great movie. But that's what a quarterback has to do, and he can't get in his head. Yeah. And I think right now, I don't want to say doubt, maybe slowly creeping in, but he's thinking about it, and that's not a good thing. But at the end of the day, he is our guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to turn it loose. He had a little bit of that in the Peach Bowl, as we talked about before, a week ago against Western Michigan, facing his father. This time, there's really no excuse, if you will, for a guy with his technique and caliber of play and his ability. So hopefully he can get this together, because right now you got a guy in Noah Kim. Noah Kim, 2 for 2, 22 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, Noah Kim really impressed me. Last week he came in for the Western game, and the first play, he released it, let it go deep.
It was almost a dime there.
Right. This week he comes in, he's throwing the ball, and one thing that really impressed me was that touchdown pass to Mosley. Here, as you can see, on this, it's a play action going to the right, and it's really tough for a right-handed quarterback to now turn around and roll out to the left-hand side, turn your shoulders and get your hips in there to deliver the ball that he did for Mosley in the end zone there. That was a very good play, and it really, really impressed me. So if I'm Michigan State, I'm happy with the backup quarterback that we have in Noah Kim. You know, we just need to see a bigger body of work from him. But if something happens to Thorne, I think we can relax. Spartan Nation can relax, and the ball will be in pretty good hands with Kim.
Yeah, Spartan Nation right now, if you look at social media, if you're into that type of thing, there's a lot of people talking about, hey, what about Noah Kim? He's been pretty accurate, waiting his turn quietly, though, and we will see Peyton Thorne get back into the player that we know he could be. But Caden Hauser, also a youngster, true freshman, getting some tick out of California, St. John Bosco, the #1 program in the United States right now in high school. He gets in for 1 or 2, 2 yards, but he had a nice 13-yard run.
Yeah, I saw him toting the rock a little bit there. I was really happy. And you know what made me excited? That's why you play these games early in the year, to see what you have.
Yeah.
Offensively, defensively. A lot of running backs. I think 4 different running backs played in the game. 3 different quarterbacks played in the game. We had some different receivers go in there. And defensively, same thing. So that is the purpose of having these games. College football, there is no preseason.
Right.
Some might say a little bit, this is your preseason, but college, this isn't. Look, you ask Jimbo at Texas A&M.
Well, ask Scott Frost at Nebraska, Georgia Southern.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it counted.
So, but if you're a championship caliber team, you have your team with the mindset of, I believe, Coach Tucker probably said this, hey, we're going in there and we want to play a lot of guys. And it's up to the starters to get these second string, these third string guys in there. These guys bust their butts in practice for you to get ready for the game. Now you give them an opportunity to shine under the lights in the woodshed.
That's right. And he did that a week ago, having a really tough, spirited week of practice, as we heard. Everyone was very on edge, if you will, a week ago in practice, and they responded with a very, very nice performance by the offense. Offensive line, it came out with a very strong outing, 260 yards on the ground, only allowing a sack, Jehuu. And, we know that Duplain, Saymack, and Carrick in the middle have been doing a very nice job of getting pushed and protecting Peyton Thorne and Noah Kim. But it was the tackles this week. Jarrett Horse, who got his first start after not starting a week ago, graded out at a 90.1 in Pro Football Focus. #2 O-line, offensive lineman in the Power 5. Spencer Brown right behind him at 80.5, good for 16th in the Power 5.
Yeah, that offensive line unit there, you would know at the end of the day, the score is 52-0, but you don't see the praises in the paper about the offensive line. But these guys are the gel. As far as Michigan State's going to go, is how far these guys take them. It was really refreshing and really good to see Horse start and see him have a good game. I hope, whatever he has going on or had going on is worked out and he's good to go now. He's out of his head a little bit.
Yeah.
Like last year you saw some things from him, but I think this year he's focused and ready to go.
Really worked hard to change his body in the offseason.
Yeah, definitely. And great job with the, strength coaches here at Michigan State. They really, get these guys ready to go. It's different. It is totally different. I was down, like I said, on the sideline there. Offensive lineman body are not what it used to be.
No, not even close.
Yeah,
take it from those who know.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be. These guys are lean, they're thick, and they're quick.
Yeah,
lean,
flexible.
thick, and quick.
Yeah.
So, and that's where football's going these days. And that's how you can have these 52-0 scores as opposed to these 17-14 games.
Yeah, Jason Novak, MSU strength and conditioning coach, guy who's been around, been in the pros for a long time, and IMG as a strength and conditioning guy, and gets these players stronger through the season. I remember back in our era, maintaining strength was a focus, just trying to maintain. Now they're actually getting personal records, PRs, through the season towards the end of the year, which is phenomenal if you think about it. Now we go on to the defensive side of the ball, and they pitch a shutout on the defensive side of the ball. The pass rush yields 5 sacks. It's Jacoby Windman once again, #4, 3 solos, 2 assists, 5 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and forced fumbles all over the place.
As a defense, it's almost like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter. At what point do you look up and be like, oh, wow, we have a goose egg up there right now.
Yeah.
You know, how do we keep it up? And you want to, as a defensive coordinator, you want to go into the next week saying, great job, we shut them out. We did what we were supposed to do. As players,
Oh, yeah.
that pressure starts mounting, especially when the game's out of hand in the fourth quarter. They put the second string in, the third string in. These starters are up. Cheer these guys on because they want that shutout. So it's you know, something really impressive when you get a shutout in Division I football. Kudos to the defensive staff, to the players, and Windman. What more can you say about this guy?
I mean, he just was all over the field. And we're going to show some highlights of Windman with forced fumbles down the field. I mean, fumble recoveries. He's just an incredible athlete, a guy who was named Defensive Player of the Week by the Big Ten 2 weeks in a row, the first time ever in Michigan State history.
Yeah, you know, great player, great body of work that he displays every time he steps onto the field. He has that go-to-work mentality.
Yeah.
Great technical moves. Shout out to Coach Jordan, you know, because I think that's what's helping him. He's great with his hands, using his hands, his swim moves, his rips, his dips, everything. And that having those things in your tool belt,
Oh, man.
a tackle sees you, it's a long week for a tackle. You would know that.
Oh, I'm telling you.
If you watch in film and you see this guy, because usually some guys have one or two moves and you have to prepare for
You're
it.
all Big Ten if you have 2 moves.
Right.
2. This guy has got unlimited. It seriously looks like Von Miller out there, a guy who has 5 excellent moves in his tool belt, spin cycles, you know, double dips, retrace, rips, a ghost move. I mean, this guy has all the tools that most college athletes aren't facing.
So if you're a tackle in college, you're watching that film and this is the guy you have to block. You're looking at your scouting report. You're looking at his profile, his bio. What are you thinking throughout the week?
I'm thinking about getting Leonard Fournette from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come up and help me chip blocking like he did. You know, my man from the Cowboys.
Yeah, Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons.
11 from heaven, according to Skip Bayless.
That's what I'm looking for. You need a chip, a nasty chip block to set the tone a little bit because that's all you really have against a player of this caliber.
Yeah, and he said it in the post-game show. You're going to start seeing team game plan for him. They're going to start sending 2 guys, you know, 3 guys, 2 guys on him, a running back coming out of the backfield, chipping him, and what that's going to do.
Freeze up everybody else.
Everyone else. Let these other dogs hunt.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we think about that. The young guns we're talking about, you know, obviously for Jacoby Windman, Pro Football Focus grades, 91.8% in his first 2 weeks. 6 tackles, 6 assists for 12 totals, 6.5 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, 1 recovery, and the sacks just continue to pile up for Jacoby Windman, now sitting at, I believe it's 5.5 sacks total for Jacoby Windman. But, you know, as you said, young guns are getting involved. Freshman, true freshman, out of Georgia, Zion Young gets his first career sack.
Yeah, you know, that you can't script it better. You know, last week we had a newcomer against Western. You know, first play, it's a touchdown. And then this week, you know, a true freshman coming in. And that's the buzz, and that's the type of team Coach Tucker is trying to form here. If you're a recruit sitting at home and you watch a Michigan State game, you out the window. I don't care if I'm a freshman. I'm going in. I have the opportunity to play. Yeah. If I work my butt off, I can go and I can play. And so that's what's happening right now, and I'm so happy for those guys. But the defense was swarming. I got to give
Derek Harmon, another big fella in the middle, got his first sack too.
And the fumble recovery on that hit that Cal Halliday put in there.
Oh, man. Cal Halliday, what a day he had.
Yeah.
You know, didn't have the huge tackle numbers performance out of the second level. They're talking about the linebackers, Cal Halliday, Brule and company, Van Sumeren. They had pedestrian numbers, but they were very effective in that big hit by Cal Halliday on Akron Zips, which caused a fumble and recovered by Jacoby Windman.
Exactly. So, you know, the defense is playing well. They're swarming to the football. You can't ask for anything better, and that's what they're going to have to do going into the Washington game.
Yeah, Washington game is going to be a big one coming up. Amir Speed leads the team in tackles from the corner position. Now, this is not a normal-looking cornerback. He's one of the first guys off the bus type of cornerback out of Georgia.
He's the one that you go out, you pull up to the stadium. Hey, Speed, you go out first. You go out. You're going for the coin toss. Speed, you go out there. You know, he has the one long sleeve on the leg, one short sleeve. If you're gonna have that swag and dress and be like that, you got to be a guy.
Yeah.
You got to be a guy. You can't just come in and be look good and stand on the sideline. You got to be on the field and being a guy. And right now he's doing that. And it doesn't say, what does it say about the scheme when your corner is your leading tackle?
Hey, it's a little bit, it's a little different. It's a little different, but you got a guy who's big. He's 6'4" on the low side. He's got a lot of range. He can cover, but 9 tackles, 5 solo, 4 assists, a tackle for a loss. I mean, a guy who's just all over the field as a cornerback, and that's just another linebacker, if you will, that can also cover down the field.
Right, exactly. So I'm excited for this defense. It's you can't just help but if you're in the defensive room at Michigan State, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to get your shot to eat.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, speaking of eating with pass breakups, we got to talk about Charles Brantley, who had a phenomenal game with 3 pass breakups.
Charles Brantley, this guy impressed me. Down on the sideline, I tell you, I promise you, my leg is bigger than he is. But I'm not
Your
joking.
leg?
My leg is bigger than Brantley, but this guy is a dog through and through. He had so many good tackles coming up.
Is there a
laying
pound for
the
pound
wood.
better hitter in the Big Ten?
Not at all. And the thing that impressed me is he's hitting the right way. He's coming in head up, good form, good position, and happy for him. Little guys, you have a chance.
Little guys have a chance too. Right now, Michigan State on the men. They're practicing, getting ready for that University of Washington game. They're going across the country, and at the game, there were some festivities going on down there in the game. And you had the chance to run into the 2002 Final Four team for field hockey, huh?
Yeah, definitely. They're one of the first in Michigan State history to go to the Final Four. They were back being celebrated this weekend. It was great. A lot of them, some of them were in dorm mates with them my freshman year and everything. And so it was really cool to see some of them and see them come back and be recognized and see where they are in their lives. Now, shout out to the field hockey team. And the field hockey team's doing pretty decent this year here at Michigan State.
Yeah, they are. They are. We're going to show a clip of you on the sideline with the 2002 field hockey Final Four team.
This is the Sparta Podcast. We are here today with the 2002 women's field hockey team as we celebrate them today for the Final Four.
Speaking of fan interaction, you were able to do some ticket giveaways outside the stadium beforehand, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to look in my camera right here and say, if you're listening to this, make sure you follow the podcast. This is Sparta MSU for your opportunity to get free tickets to the Big Ten opener against Minnesota on the 24th. Follow us, tag some friends, and see when we do the ticket giveaways, and you have an opportunity to win. Tell your friends and your mom and them about it.
Mama them likes free tickets. Everybody loves free.
Everyone loves free.
I like that.
If it's free, it's for me.
There was it was a festive atmosphere for Michigan State. We had a lot of people back in town for the MSU Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We saw Draymond Green, who you got to spend some time with on the sideline, and then Greg Jones, a former Spartan dog, who was there with you. You had a nice interview with him, but you got a chance to catch up with Greg.
Yeah, really got to catch up with Greg. I was a senior when Greg was a freshman. He came in and played and had immediate impact as a true freshman, and that goes to say why he's in the Hall of Fame right now. And
you looking for your call?
I'm still waiting, I keep going to my phone services and be like, hey, man, hey, is this thing on?
Maybe we get it posthumously like Herb Adderley, which he shouldn't have got it posthumously because he decided to forego it himself while he was still here. Mm-hmm. But for us regular guys, maybe.
Yeah,
your grandkids can accept.
Exactly, I just want to go to the dinner. I want a free meal.
That's awesome. And speaking of Spartan dogs, we're going to talk a little bit about our former running back, compadre, not Jehuu, but Le'Veon.
Yeah.
How about him this weekend getting in the boxing ring?
I've way before this came about, I follow Le'Veon on Instagram. I see him in the gym, and he's throwing hands, he's doing boxing. It's like, wow, okay, this guy looks good. He looks legit. And then he takes on future Hall of Famer and former All-Pro running back Adrian Peterson.
Did it make you nervous?
It made me nervous because AP's taller, has to reach.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, oh man, what's going on here? But he gave him with a smooth one, and you could see it in AP's eyes when he got hit. It stunned him for a little bit, the deer in the headlights,
yeah.
And those knee buckled and went, oh, child, suck it, 1, 2, 3.
He was out of there. He was trying, when he got back up, look at the tape here. When he gets back up, he's trying to tell the ref, I'm good. No, he wasn't good.
You ain't good.
He was
you
not
ain't good, player.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
That was a wrap for AP.
And it was just good to see Spartans winning all over, on the field, off the field, in the business world and everything.
That's right. And then that will do it for another episode of This is Sparta. Here we are again on top of the Graduate Hotel, the rooftop rock bar in East Lansing. Beautiful scenery, beautiful place. Don't forget to get your rooms when you come to the Graduate Hotel here, and a nice beverage. Sometimes an adult beverage, maybe not. Whatever your choice is. For Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn, and this is Sparta.